Hello, Truman, Norway. How's it go? Northway. How's it going? Alrighty. Let's start this walk. Yo, Jukes. Top of the morning to you. That isn't right. What up, Jukes? How's it going? Good morning. Good morning. 9:30. Time to start the walk. But how's everyone doing today? On this fine Tuesday morning. Honestly, this is the weather I like. I like the blue, clear skies and all that other stuff. It's nice. It's nice out. Woke up at 8:30, had breakfast, which was nice. Had a nice croissant. And yeah, we are starting our day off with another WalkShow podcast, which I like doing this. This is fun. Definitely something different. Wish I had the dog, but then again, I'd also have to be picking up poop every 5 fucking seconds. But it's nice to just be here and talk. Where I'm at, again, I had beautiful weather. Now during this week, it's all dark and cloudy. Yeah, it was the opposite for me. My weekend was all dark, cloudy, and rainy. And now that it's the week, it's all nice and sunny and warm. Yesterday it was like in the 60s, which was different for where we are because the weather's just been all over the place. But yeah, I kind of wanted to take this WalkShow podcast to just talk about a specific subject, and specifically fighting games, and why I like fighting games so much. Like, don't get me wrong, I like Pokemon. Pokemon's fun. Like, I like doing ranked Showdown, that other stuff. I like playing Showdown with you guys. Like, but when it really comes down to like my favorite genre of games, fighting games. I just registered the pun of WalkShow. There you go. But yeah, so like fighting games is probably my favorite genre of games altogether. Like, and I think it all stems back to when I was a kid. When I'd go visit my grandparents' house before I really had any type of video game system. My grandparents had, the classic NES, Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis from back when my dad was a kid. Hold on. I got so many smudge marks on my phone. I was glaring. So, as a kid, I would play those games. And a lot of those games were fighting games, to be surprisingly honest with you guys. Like, my dad had Super Street Fighter 2 on the Genesis, Mortal Kombat on the Genesis, and I guess you could technically count Punch-Out as a fighting game, a weird subsection of a fighting game. But, those are the games that I played, and I really liked them, especially Street Fighter. Street Fighter stood out to me. It was a very unique type of fighting game, and as I was growing up, when we got our first home console, which for me was the PlayStation 1, I had a fighting game called Bloody Roar 2, which was one of those fighters that's like Tekken, where it's on it's an 8-directional path where you can move up, down, left, right, still had the orientation of like a 2D fighter, but like I said, it fought like Tekken, so where you had the omnidirection. And I loved that game growing up. And on top of that, we had the Dragon Ball Budokai series. Not Tenkaichi Budokai, where you were behind them. It was the series where it was, again, side to side. Because I didn't like the omnidirectional one, because that one just felt like too weird. Just the normal Budokai series had more of a grounded fighting style to it. And like I said, growing up, I really like that. My favorite type of game is probably still platformers, because I was a kid. I constantly had PS2. Good racing games, platformers is much better for me. Yeah, so like I said, like growing up, I've always been playing fighting games, and to me, those are just, excuse me, something that really stood out to me. You know, and as I got older, more and more fighting games came out, more and more types of games came out and shit. And for me, fighting games have always been this weird niche. Like, when you hear, like, there is the FGC, which is the fighting game community, and the thing is with that is, it's not like the biggest, it's its own little niche thing. And like, you could technically say that for anything. Like, there's the Pokemon community, and you know, not a lot of people know what that is. They're like, oh, what's the Pokemon community? It's like the same thing. It's like, oh, what's the fighting game community? It's its own little niche thing that I wish a lot of people paid attention to more. Or like, you know, you got like the League of Legends community, the Pokemon community, the FGC community. As someone who's a part of all these communities, you see very different, how things are handled differently. Like, in the Pokemon community, you have the influencers who are like Dylan, Ryan, Vinny, Luke, all those guys, Shady Penguin, who, you know, like Pokemon, play Pokemon, not on a competitive level. Maybe Shady did for a little bit, but in terms of competitiveness, it's very rare that you see anyone doing Pokemon competitively. But then on the other hand, when it comes to fighting games, that's all it is. You don't see a fighting game speedrunner ever, or, oh, I'm gonna do the, I mean, I guess you can. It'd be like, oh, I'm gonna do arcade mode and do no kicks. But you don't see those types of things. Mostly for fighting games, you see ranked, you see competition, you see strategies, frame data, that stuff. And for me growing up, I was a very competitive kid. I was always put into sports. Like, I played soccer most of my time growing up. And then in middle school and high school, I played tennis. And, you know, those were very competitive sports for me. And honestly, for me, tennis felt like it gave me that same endorphin rush that a fighting game does, where it's, you know, you got to win the points, and then by getting enough points in the game, you win that game, and then win enough games in a match, you win the match. Same thing for fighting games, especially like if I was to compare it to Street Fighter 5, win 2 matches, win 2 rounds, win the match, challenge your opponent to a rematch, best 2 out of 3 wins. And I don't know where I'm rambling, but But like I said, fighting games are something that I could always, I have a uniqueness for fighting games. Like Grand Blue Fantasy Versus just came out, and I picked that up. I bought it off of Steam, and I can't breathe. And I picked it up quite fast. And that's not because, I'm a god tier fighting game player, but inherently speaking, I understand how mechanics work for a fighting game. And I feel like that's what turns a lot of people off towards fighting games, because you get a fighting game like Street Fighter that's very technical, has a lot of combos and stuff, and it's very hard to execute certain moves because you have to hit the buttons this fast. You have to do this combo into this, and then you get games like, hey Pink, how's it going? And then you get games like Smash Brothers, which are the platformer style of fighting game, not necessarily combos that can be done, but more or less you have that free form button mashing with zero gravity to it. Fighter Z is just like that, where it's a button masher with combo, where it's a button masher that execute combos, but there are generally. When did I get the wrench? You've always had the wrench. It's been a while since we've been live streaming on YouTube though, so I need to give it to you on Twitch. That's the other thing. The next time you come to the Twitch stream, I have to see if you have it on there. But yeah, there's two different levels of fighting games. And generally speaking, when I see, like, move it fast with the combos. Yeah, exactly. And that's the other thing where it comes to how different fighting games work, is the speed of which games are played. Like Street Fighter is definitely not a super fast fighter, but more of a technical fighter, to where once you pull off a combo, you're done. You sit back, you wait for your opponent to get up. Fighter Z, you can literally 0 to kill in as fast as you need to. But I guess that's also why you don't take chip damage for when you're blocking and shit like that, because it makes it a very technical game where you're sitting there pulling off combos, bam, 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 and you're trying to break through your opponent's guard, and as soon as you drop yours, they're gonna go for the kill. I saw Juke Shorts on. Yeah, I probably wouldn't enjoy playing Street Fighter with Smash Bros, although, mainly because I'm trying to learn how to play without any instruction. Yeah, but like that's the thing, is like Street Fighter is a game that you have to kind of learn, and that's where I feel like a lot of people get turned off, is when they don't want to take the time to learn how to play the game, because there's the inherent way of playing, which is, doing the combos that the game gives you, doing the quarter circle stuff, and getting those very intense moments to where your meter's building up, their meter's building up, and you can pull off counters and shit, and generally speaking, just get a good combo off. Like, I'm not the best Street Fighter player at all, but I understand the general mechanics of the game, and there are those who are out there who are like frame data gods, and they can literally see the frames. But but that's the thing with the FGC, is that you can play at your own level. It's not like when I go to a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament, I'm playing with people at my level. I'm literally playing with people who go to regionals as often as they can. Meanwhile, I'm coming in with a deck that barely gets used, and I get trumped all the way through. I think the last Yu-Gi-Oh! Tournament I went to was months ago, and then on top of that, I only won one game. But at least in, like when I play Street Fighter Online or any of these other games, they put me to the level of what I play at, which is fine. So like, for someone who wants to get in, you understand, okay, boxes, I think I should try harder. These are those two things, the main source of rage, and I play Smash Bros. But yeah, see, skill-based matchmaking. Well, like more like, cause like in Street Fighter, I think I'm super silver. Yeah, I'm at super silver. So, you know, they're obviously matching me with people who are within the same rank as me. However, what up, hey, John Smith, how's it going? But they're also matchmaking me with people who are in tiers lower than me. And usually when that happens is because, yes, this bronze player is getting matched with a silver player. I found you by Nas. Oh, thank you. Very cool. I'll be sure to say thank you to Nas. Oh, God damn it. So what I was saying is, why is this bronze player getting matched with the silver player? Oh, that's because this bronze player is playing as good as a silver player. So, generally speaking, this bronze player has played well enough to be matched with the silver player. And that's what I like about Street Fighter, is that they match you correctly with your play level. So it's like, if I'm losing a lot of matches, I will most likely get paired with, you know, someone of a similar rank of mine. So another silver, whether it be a little bit above or a little bit below. Because I'm pretty sure at the same time, they're also not winning all their matches and are generally at the same skill level and stuff that I'm at, which is cool for Street Fighter. Generally speaking, Street Fighter has been one of the only other things that I've played online, because if playing Tekken online, they match me with people who are far above my rank, but I still generally play well enough to keep up with them. But that's only because no one else is as low as I am, because I never played Tekken online. So when I get matched with these people, they hey Dad. Good morning. How are you? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I went back yesterday. Yeah, pretty much. It was a bit of a hassle. I went in yesterday. Everyone was like, oh, why'd you call out Thursday and Friday? Oh, and I'm like, because it's a very serious situation. I'm like, because, you know, they had a meeting where they said one person had the coronavirus, and it's that. And then literally as soon as I say that, someone was like, no, they said, now it's 2. And then someone's like, no, now it's 4. I'm like, this is exactly why I called out, because you guys can't get your story straight, and I need to know what's going on. So, yeah.
So you went to work?
Yeah. Yeah. Diana said if it doesn't seem all right, just call out again, but everything seems fine. So. Yeah. Alrighty.
Taking your morning walk?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think she's coming back till Friday. So, got this whole... better. I got a new tire. I was like, give me a new tire. The gauge went away. I'll have to look to see if there's any more nails though.
Yeah. Gosh. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Must have drove somewhere that had them on the ground.
No, he's right though.
They were on the side, yeah. Fucked up.
Yeah. Alrighty.
All right, sweetie, have a good day. I love you.
Love you too.
Apple bread?
Yes, I did.
That was good, right?
Very delicious. See you guys later. You job, big mess. Exactly. Yeah, guys, I'm sorry about that. I drive past my parents. I live near my parents, so on my morning walk, I pass by their house, and it's nice seeing them when I walk. So, you know, I have that stuff going on. But fighting games. That's what we were talking about. That's a little cute. It's good living near my parents. They normally during not this time of crisis, I you know, would be allowed inside, visit them, say hi to the dog. But right now, that's why I stayed in the driveway, didn't get any closer, and was having a screaming. They help me out with a lot of stuff, and I really appreciate them for all the help that they do. Probably one of the best sets of parents I have. So yeah, so back to the fighting game discussion. It's a lot of fun. For the different levels of fighting games that I generally like. So, as we were saying before, they have those combos. Every fighting game is different. You don't generally get the same type of fighting game when you're playing a fighting game, which is shocking. Like, yes, you have the generic thing of beat the shit out of opponent, and there you go. But how each of them are played is just very, very different. Like, you can't go into Street Fighter expecting it to play like Tekken or Smash Brothers to play like Guilty Gear or shit like that. Each fighting game is unique into how it plays. Like, I don't play a lot of King of Fighters because it doesn't play the same as Street Fighter. And that's not a bad thing. It's something I have to learn. But like I said, it's just different because like the button layout is different. It feels the same because it's a 2D fighter, but its button layout is slightly different. Therefore, you're not getting the same experience. Back on the PC now? Okay, cool. Yeah, I was just saying how, well, laptop. Yeah. You went from a phone to a bigger device. But yeah, so like I was just saying, not all fighting games are gonna play the same, which is I feel like another thing. But do you have a PS4? Of course I do. Yeah, I love my PS4. Although, can't wait for the PS5. Because I need Fighter Z tips. Planning on getting my own. Okay. Fighter Z tips. You can button mash all you want, but inherently when you want to play fighters, you want to try to do more combos. So you could obviously just press the X button over and over again and that performs the auto combo. What you need to learn for fighters is the not auto combos. So like, sorry if I'm hiccuping a lot. So like generally speaking, not the X button, but you know, the light button. I don't know why I said X. Yeah, square and triangle, that's what I meant. I didn't mean X. In the back of my head, I don't know why I said X. I was thinking of something else. Good morning.
Good morning.
Beautiful.
Is it?
Yeah. So yeah, like I was saying, like square does the auto combo, triangle does the auto combo. What you need to learn, generally speaking, is to do the other combos. So like usually like I'll do square, square, triangle, triangle, and then you can go from triangle into circle, which will do like the big heavy attack, which will do the launcher. Depends on the character. Yeah, what up, Sierra? How's it going? Good morning, how are you? Yeah, it's been a while on the YouTube channel, but we do go live on Twitch more than we do on here. For the walks, we do YouTube and recorded series on YouTube, and we go live on Twitch. So if you want to stick to going live and following me on Twitch, link is down in the description. Greatly appreciate it. But yeah, so with fighters is that you have your auto combos, but you also can do directional inputs while you're doing your combos. So like if you have someone who's blocking you and you know they're blocking all of your high attacks, you could technically throw in a low combo. Like triangle usually has the heavy hitting low combos. So if you're doing, you know, square, 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 triangle, triangle, you can do square, 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 triangle, low triangle. Thank you, Pink. Appreciate it. So that's one way of doing better in fighters, is getting people with a low combo, because obviously if you block high, you block high, you block low, you block low. So when you throw in low attack in the middle of a high combo, you generally catch people off guard. Another thing that you can also do, which eats meter, is do the teleport. Is when you teleport behind the opponent to catch them off guard. So it's like if you see that they're going in for an attack, you teleport behind them, they don't have time to block and guard, therefore you can catch them off guard. Because that's the thing with fighters, is that blocking is by holding backwards. There's no button for it. So that's why they have that implemented, it is because, all right, now they have to change direction mid block. And if they're not expecting it, you can catch them off guard. And like I said, and you can also do grabs as well. Generally the grab is like when you do the little air, not the super long dash, but the little short one. Yeah, the teleports, they suck. But yeah, that's the thing with fighters. You have to constantly be paying attention, because at the same time, yeah, that's how you block like that. Yeah, you block low, diagonal back. Do block like that. So press the street again. Just keep my social distancing. Yeah, that's really all the tips I can give for fighters. Also, let's say you're catching someone in a combo. Like if you start doing an auto combo. But any other fighting games you play? Of course. I play a lot of other fighting games. So like, you know, Street Fighter, Fighter Z, Smash Brothers, Tekken, play a lot of. Pokken Tournament is another good one. That one I'm a little like about, just because it switches from being like an arena fighter to like a 2D fighter. That one is a little bit different. I guess you can count Arms. Arms is a good fighter. Rivals of Aether, love that game, especially with the fact that I'm trying to make a custom character for that one and work in that realm. I'm going uphill, so I'm losing my breath. Yeah, and I seen what I like Scizor in that game. Scizor was cool. I was a Charizard fanatic though. I used to catch people in the it was Wing Attack to Dragon Claw, because I was able to hold that combo pretty well. You would Wing Attack to knock them off, Dragon Claw to bounce them off the ground, and then you continue that combo until you throw in either Fire Punch or Flare Blitz, and you can do a shit ton of damage that way. What's another fighting game? Oh, I had one. I had it on the tip of my tongue. Oh yeah, Grand Blue. One of the new Arxis games to have come out, which another fighter technically comes out today. So I'm pretty stoked about that. And the thing with Grand Blue is it plays like fighters, but different. Like, it has the kind of very similar button layout to fighters, like with X, square, triangle, and stuff like that. You know, he's poor puppy. Look at this little pup. Look at that big boy. These dogs are getting old. Oh, you just need attention. Growing up, I knew these dogs. They would cause a lot of trouble. Not really. They were just, you know, a lot more aggressive and loud. But now that they're getting old, they lost it and I could see it. It's a little sad, but they're still adorable. So yeah, Grand Blue Fantasy Versus has like the very same button layout to fighters, to where, you know, X is your unique attack, and then from light attacks to heavy attacks, it's square, triangle, circle. But the very unique thing about Grand Blue Fantasy Versus is that all of your attacks, special attacks, have cooldowns. And when I was watching Maximilian Dude play this game, I was thinking to myself, why do they have cooldowns? It keeps them from being super over the top and broken when you're just constant. That's being translated to a fighting game. Therefore, they're giving it the mechanics of an RPG where your specials have cooldowns. And I found that very unique and cool, to where you're having these combos and these special attacks that are having these, if you're doing the light attacks, have short cooldowns, and then if you do the heavy attacks, have longer cooldowns, because it's trying to replicate an RPG as in a fighting game. And one that is very unique to a fighting game. Not a lot of fighting games have cooldowns to their special attacks, generally speaking. And the other good thing about Grand Blue Fantasy is that you could also, they have quick little button maps. So like there is a button map for all your specials, and you can combine it with a directional, because everyone has 4 specials. And so there's neutral special, forward special, back special, and down special. And depending on, obviously, the button press and the direction, you're going to perform a specific special. And then you can also combine it with Oh, back of the brain. Combine it with a second button press to get the stronger version. So like, I play on Steam, so I'm gonna be talking like from an Xbox controller standpoint. So you're pressing RB to do a special. But if you press RB and Y, which on the PlayStation would be R1 and triangle, it'll do the medium level of the attack compared to just pressing RB or R1, which is the light version of the attack. So, and then if you press RB and B or R1 and circle, it'll perform the heavy version, which has the longest cooldown. But the other unique thing that Granblue Fantasy Versus does is if you do the not quick input, which is, you know, the quarter circle versions of the moves and the combo versions, your cooldowns are even shorter. So, generally speaking, if I do quarter circle X or quarter circle square, the cooldown is faster than if I was just pressing RB or R1. And I find that very unique to the fighting game for Granblue Fantasy Versus. No cats in sight. So, I just made it home. So yeah, so with how that plays, it's unique, and it definitely shows there are different skill levels for that game. Because you could obviously sit there, do the button maps to get off the combos a lot easier. Or if you know how the game plays, you could pull off the quarter circles and stuff like that to be able to have shorter cooldowns, therefore to be able to continue combos at a more professional level. And now that the game looks beautiful, it's got that 3D anime style to it. Same thing as Fighters. So if you like the art style Fighters, you'll definitely love this game. Voice acting is phenomenal. The gameplay is phenomenal. It just looks like a generally good game. Soundtrack is out there. But I would say if you want to play the story mode of that game, you definitely want to watch the anime to it first, which is on Netflix. And yeah, Granblue Fantasy Versus is probably one of my newer favorite fighters that have come out. Still won't top Tekken and Street Fighter, but you know, it's getting there. And with all these unique fighters out there, I definitely want to make my own fighting game, which is something I do plan on doing within the next couple years. After I make these custom characters for Rivals, we're definitely going to be working on a fighting game manga and a fighting game. So we're going to see how that comes out. As the person who's writing the story for everything, I have to get on that, and then I have to get my buddy who's the artist to do all the art for it. And then later on down the road, if we can get a programming team and sort of kickstart it for everything, we could actually start making a fighting game and a manga. And that would be really cool to be able to do. Because I have a general idea of how the fighting game would play, which is unique in its own right, to where it's a combination of two different games, to where it plays like Smash Brothers, where it's got that free-forming platforming fighting, but it has the mechanics of a 2D fighter, to where every character is limited to one jumps, but they're still platforms, which would be easy enough to reach from one jump. And then at the same time, instead of, there would be no stage fatalities, so no stages like Battlefield or anything like that in Smash Brothers. Characters have life bars instead of damage meters. And it's this whole other thing I'd have to go into. I don't want to spoil too much for it, but definitely something, like I said, definitely unique for a platformer fighter, but still be grounded as a 2D fighter. And yeah, that's pretty much it. But I'm home now, as you can see. So I'm gonna go inside, do what I gotta do. And with that, I will see you guys later. I'll try to go live tonight with some Grand Blue Fantasy because I definitely want to show off the new fighter that came out today. So I'll see you guys later with that, and yeah, I'll see you guys later. And I hope you guys have a fantastic day. I'll see you guys tonight, and as always, hope you had an awesome walk. I did. Definitely want to do these more. Probably do this again either tomorrow or Thursday. We'll see. But yeah, see you guys later, and as always, good gaming. God bless. Go beyond. And keep on keeping on.